You put it on me, didn't you?
It's not on anyone yet. You're just a disembodied voice.
Am I? Is it just a voice?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's on you.
Yeah, I can. Fuck's sakes. Can we swear in this one?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I guess we can, yeah.
I think we have the last few times.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? I think we've got a limit on how many swears, though. Like, oh, let me just turn this down.
Yeah, maybe don't play our video while you're playing our video. That's
Yeah.
or we're making our video. That's not the most professional thing to do, I don't think.
Shut up with your professional nonsense, man. We're sat with some cigars. I'm literally swearing, and you're talking to me about professionalism. Welcome back to the live stream. Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be extremely professional and be very professional about what we talk about.
Professional.
Because we don't have a sponsor, no one gives a crap about that stuff anyway.
Well, we're hoping to get one, so maybe that would help. I don't know.
Well, I've got some chatter. Well, I've been having some talks with someone, and we're going to meet them at the photography show, which is very appropriate because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Trade shows. We're going to be talking about trade shows and how over the last few years, what are you doing? Were you just readjusting? Anyway.
Sitting comfortably.
We're going to be talking about trade shows and how over the last few years have been pretty terrible for a bunch of trade shows. Photokina's been cancelled basically completely.
Why is that?
We're going to get into that.
It's like there was some kind of pandemic going on.
No, but there were other things as well. The NAB just got cancelled recently as well. But it's not about the fact that they were cancelled. It's the long-term impact and the long-term
Is it because they
problem.
said something racist? Did they get cancelled?
They might do. I bet I could get away with saying something
on
racist.
Twitter.
Yeah. And then society will be like, nah, he's brown, it's fine. It's okay. It's a bit messed up, to be honest. But yeah, we've got... Don't read the comments right
Kaelin,
now.
yes, he does have a fancy throne.
What? What's wrong with my throat?
Throne.
Oh, throne! Shut up, Kaelin. He's got a fancy chair too. You've got a Savronella. It's just that...
Which I fixed with some bits of plywood.
Don't tell him that. No, he's got like a much fancier chair than mine. It's just like his is kind of off screen because that is a much nicer chair. What are we doing? Huh? No? Okay. I don't know what you were doing there. Anyway, let's get into this, man. What are you smoking? Because this has become a bit of a tradition now, and we're going to carry this on until we get demonetized.
Is it Monte Carlo?
Yeah, well done. You do know how to...
Yoga? I do know how to remember things.
I was going to say, you do know how to read. And I was like, it's not on there.
It's not on there.
No, it's not. Yeah, yours is the Port Laranjaga. Mine is a Toro Fuente Grand Reserva Churchill. I think my cigar's a bit too big for an hour show, in all honesty. Your cigar's just about too big for an hour show. But let's see how things get on. I've dropped this a few times,
Just being you. Right?
Just being me, yeah. Wake up, open the humidor, throw a few cigars on the floor. Hey!
Imran reckons we're allowed 3 swear words. Imran reckons we're allowed 3 swear words.
We're allowed 3 swear words. Okay, we'll save the last one for Imran.
And wants to join by phone.
No, he's not letting him on. He'll have the P word on freaking the whole way through.
The P word?
Yeah. I'm not saying it. Benchod. That's the word. Happy?
What are we on now? 3? That must be 3 by now.
That's 3 now. No, Benchod's not a swear though.
Oh, sure.
No, it's not. It's because Google doesn't readily identify what that word means, so you can get away with it.
Oh, right. Don't tell the gods of YouTube then.
Yeah.
Because that's been said quite a lot.
So are you lighting your cigar or not?
Yes.
Just sat here lighting by myself. What are you drinking? Coffee?
Yes.
I'm having tea. Okay, so trade shows. This week we're going to the photography show. Actually, let me light this first. I can't do multiple things.
You can't talk and light a cigar.
I can't talk. I mean, I am, but I have to keep looking back at it and be like, am I screwing this up or not? We should really light our cigars before we start the live stream.
Well, this is what I did before, but you told me not to.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You can't prove that.
I don't need to. I just need to say it online, and it's true.
Yeah. Just make an accusation and be fine. We've come with a really shitty mood today, haven't we? That's 3, 4. That's 3. Good? Bad?
Good.
Yeah, really smooth, isn't it? Very mild. Very relaxed.
He's got another channel for these things, but
Who has?
this man, you.
Oh, who's
I was
asking?
talking to the audience, not to you.
Oh, Cigar Rants? Our channel? Okay. That took an age. Sorry, guys.
All 5 people. There we go.
We've got 5 people? Holy damn.
One of them's you.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. We've got 5 people in your audience. That's pretty impressive. I don't even have 5 friends. That might be true. So, yeah, let's get on with the live show. One of the things that we've been seeing through the pandemic is that, well, I'm really stating the obvious here, but a lot of the trade shows got cancelled or just got taken off completely, and the photography show was one of them, right? So this was supposed to happen in March last year. We were supposed to go then. We booked our Airbnb, and it just, like, they did a last minute cancellation, which was which is a little bit shitty of them.
It was about as last minute as you could get, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Because everyone else cancelled.
There were
well in
people who'd
advance.
flown here. There were people that had got into the country before they cancelled it.
I know, which is a bit of a dick move, I think.
Yeah.
And I guess that from their perspective, they just didn't want to lose out on lots of money, which I don't mind. I get that. But if you're going to cancel it,
I mean, it'll be insured, you know, like.
Yeah, because the global pandemic. No, I don't think it was.
It would have been insured at that point, I'm sure.
Maybe retroactively, but not at that point, because Boris Johnson hadn't put any lockdown measures at that point. Remember? Lockdown measures came in on 31st of March.
Oh, yeah.
So there were no countrywide lockdown measures. So retroactively, maybe insurance companies could have basically said, well, you know, yeah.
Weren't large events
even
banned
then,
before the lockdown there? I thought large gatherings were banned before the lockdown.
Kinda, but no.
Well, anyway.
We had Boris at the helm. I mean, the guy's about as useful as, I don't want to say, because we definitely will get demonetized.
I'd quite like a chocolate teapot, personally.
So we had that, and we had the Airbnb booked. We were going to go there. We were looking forward to it, right?
Yeah.
Because there were loads of companies that were booked in to go to the photography show at that time. And what are you looking at? Something went wrong.
I just think I'm a little bit bright on the screen, that's all.
Oh. Are you looking bright? We can always turn it down. Turn it down?
You carry on.
Man, you don't know how to use a Canon. You're a Nikon shooter. Get away from that, man.
That's better.
Oh, look, it's got dials for everything. Nikon don't have dials for everything. There's no ISO button. It annoys the shit out of me.
What?
Every Nikon I've shot with, I don't know where the ISO is, or like some...
Mine literally has a button on the top in big letters.
Does it?
There's ISO on it.
Okay. That's the DA50 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good camera. The rest of
Admittedly, that button came about after a long campaign from people wanting to put a button there because everyone was just remapping the record button. Ever since they put a video record button on top, everyone remapped it to be ISO and kept saying, just put a bloody button there.
See? I was annoyed about that too. I just felt like there was something weird. Anyway, so we had an Airbnb booked. Fortunately, the host of our Airbnb was kind enough to kind of just realize, okay, you know, these are extenuating circumstances. Am I saying that word correctly? Extenuating circumstances. And she cancelled without giving us any fees or anything like that. We got a full refund, 100% refund, including the Airbnb fees and everything as well. which was great. What are you doing? Every time I'm talking to you, man, you keep looking
I'm
away.
looking at comments. I'm listening.
Don't look at the comments, man. We've got a comment section time.
Okay. Imran's commenting a lot, that's all.
He's always commenting. Hi, Imran. I love you, really. Please don't hurt me. So we had... see, I keep getting thrown off. We had an Airbnb booked. Fortunately, we got our Airbnb refunded. No, we didn't. Airbnb didn't refund their fees. They were arseholes about it. I don't care if we get demonetized. They were straight up arseholes about it.
Oh.
Airbnb did not refund the fees. The host refunded us fully, as much as she could, based on whatever she gets paid. But then when I contacted Airbnb about their fees, they said, well, you know, there's no global pandemic. No, they said, in your country, there's no rule which is preventing you from going there.
Well.
And I was just kind of gobsmacked at Airbnb. I was like, you know, when someone says so ridiculously, blatantly R word, and you're just like, wait, huh?
Rude.
Huh?
Rude.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that word. I was completely blown. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are you playing at?
Yeah.
So yeah, Airbnb didn't refund us our money, and we still went back to them, didn't we?
That's because everywhere is an Airbnb.
Yeah, which is a bit of a... Just goes
And
to show.
this is something I always get a little bit annoyed about with trade shows as well, because I know the company that runs the trade show has to make money. Fine.
What is it, Future PLC, right?
In this case, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, Future PLC. Great company, by the way. I used to work for them. No, they are.
You
They
still
are.
work for them, technically, don't you?
Freelance, yeah, freelancing some, yeah. But no, they are a great company. They are honestly a great company. But
Shill.
no,
I'm joking, but
I'm gonna qualify that, because they are a great company, but this was a straight up dick move that they pulled. So I'm gonna call them out for this thing that they did, which was really kind of shitty. But overall, I think they're a great company.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have our tickets for the photography show revoked. Like, what'd you say to us? You can't come. But I was already invited. Yeah, well, I uninvited you.
it's my party, and I'll cry if I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was going to say, I get that trade show, and this doesn't just go for photography trade shows. All trade shows, expos that I've ever seen,
They kind of run the line when it comes to income. It's very close to the bone.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
and I get that. It's just, it's such a bombardment of marketing and partnerships, and you know, everywhere you turn there's an advert, and I don't mean that in the sense, I know this obviously a trade show is a load of adverts.
What were you expecting? It's just a show for brands.
I don't know, something about the whole industry that's thrown up around trade shows, like to get someone to set up a stall. So when I was younger, when I was about 16, 17,
Yeah.
my dad was
I think you're still 16. You look it. Anyway, sorry. I interrupted you. I apologize. Carry on. I'm very sorry, Alex. Don't look at me like that. What's that? Your dramatic cigar puff or something?
When I was like 16 or 17 or something, my dad was setting up a stall. He's in telecoms. He was setting up a stall trade show in Germany. Don't ask me which one. And he
Was he in Köln?
I don't know, but he didn't do it in the end. I don't know why, but nearly sent me out there to basically put the stall up, because it would have been cheaper to fly me out there, keep me there for a few days and fly me back, than it would have been to hire, you know, the only person you can hire is from the actual venue. It would have been cheaper to do that than to hire that person to put up a stall for you.
Or how easy or difficult is it to put up a stall?
Not very difficult.
No? So you could have done it by yourself?
The fees for shit like that is just extortionate. Mad.
I guess large companies just kind of don't particularly care too much about how extortionate it is.
Well, I think a lot of these venues just have the exhibitors over a barrel, because some of the exhibitors, they're flying from China, flying from Japan. Like, okay, they're big enough companies; it probably doesn't matter to them, but still. And it's generally the venues making that kind of price.
Yeah.
Not the show. But
So the venue makes it, not the actual.
Yeah, usually the venue have their own.
So it's the NEC that's making the money, not the photography show per se. So the photography show are basically kind of over a barrel to some extent as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not.
Well, anyone hosting a trade show, or anyone hosting pretty much anything in any big venue is going to be bound by
a lot of terms.
Yeah. And the more complicated it is, the bigger that booklet's going to be. But there's just, I don't know. It's just a general feeling. There's a lot of slightly extortionate, slightly cheeky industry thrown up around trade shows.
Yeah, venues in general tend to be like that, right? But I guess from their perspective, it's a place, you want to be there. These are the terms. If you accept it, great. If you don't, no problem. And 9 times out of 10, most of the companies do accept it. So if you've got an industry which accepts these kinds of terms and are happy to pay them and are happy to pay those extortionate rates, then maybe because people are happy to pay that.
I don't think they're happy to pay it. I think people just don't have a choice.
They still pay it? Like the choice would be, okay, this is unreasonable, I'm not going to do it. I know that seems very flippant. I get that.
I just feel like it's something that might... I'm not an expert on this, but...
Neither of us are experts in this.
And it's not the only situation like this. Like, I can think of a few situations where, because there's someone in the chain that's trying to wring every bit of money out of the rest of the chain, holds the whole thing back.
But do you think it's because the cost of it is so incredibly high that they have to charge these amounts?
I just can't see that. Like
if you own the venue, I'm assuming you need to have at least X number of people in every single year, otherwise.
But I can't remember the fees anymore. I've seen fee structures for a few places I've been, like Event City in the Trafford Park in Manchester.
Okay.
The fees list was broken down into things like extension lead, or
what?
Plugging in a light.
Huh?
Or plugging in a TV.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So how many, you get charged based on the extension lead that you use?
No, as in if you needed an extension lead, they would charge you quite a lot of money.
Just buy one.
Exactly. I remember thinking I could buy one for this price.
Yeah. Oh, so they're not even giving you it. They're renting it to you.
They're renting it. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's really taking the piss.
Again, I can't remember the actual numbers, and probably shouldn't reveal them anyway, I guess. But it was
50 quid.
It was a lot.
You want a rented extension?
And it was really, really specific stuff as well. Like, it wouldn't just be put up a stall. It would be put up a stall, add a canopy, add a desk, add a TV, add an extension lead, add a fan, that kind of thing.
I guess you have to be that specific for certain things, but to charge
just certain things. But this,
no. What I mean is being specific about these individual things. That's good, because then it's clear where everything is, and what you're going to get and what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But charging more than what the actual item costs.
Yeah.
To rent it. That's taking a piss.
Yeah.
So what was the place called again? People could just pause and rewind. You've already said it.
This was at Event City in Manchester.
Event City in Manchester.
But they're relatively speaking, they're a small venue.
Okay.
There's no way.
Do you think the NEC charges stupid things for
100%.
Really? Do you think they charge like stupid amounts of money for like an extension lead? You know what we should do?
The NEC are one of the 2 most sought after convention centres in the country, right? Between the NEC and XL, that's where the biggest venues are. That's where people want to go.
Well, we know some senior people at some companies who are going to be at the trade show hosting with their own stall, right? We could just ask them, how much did the stall cost?
Well,
most-
the special stalls, like, the Fuji one or the Nikon or Canon or whatever.
No, they will cost hundreds of thousands, possibly into.
Although they'll
millions.
probably build those themselves because they're bespoke, but still. So they won't be paying many of those sort of rental type fees.
I guess so,
'Cause
because they probably own a lot of the stuff
Yeah,
anyway.
they'll be bringing a huge crew. They'll have a department.
And because they're a much bigger company, they can dictate terms. But if you're a smaller company, you're basically just like, well, these are the terms.
Yeah,
Deal
I'm
with
talking about all the other stores, all the single unit,
Yeah,
one gazebo stores.
yeah. Like one of the.
I can't remember what they call them, but there's set units and measurements for them all.
Yeah.
Like if you ever buy banners and things for trade shows, they will all be the right size.
Okay, I see.
It's all standardized,
Which is good in substance.
Good. Yeah. I'm not saying that's bad. But
How's your cigar?
it's good.
This is actually quite good,
This is very good.
It's my first Fuente that I've enjoyed. The wrapper looks a little weird though. Like it looks like oils soaked into the cigar. So I don't know. Hope it's not infused. It's not infused. Well, it doesn't taste like anyway. But yeah. So yeah, trade show practices have been a bit shady for a long time, it seems. They're probably going to continue to do so. This year, the photography show, it's Tuesday now. It's supposed to start on Saturday. I swear to God, if they cancel right now, we're going to drive there and
You're
punch
gonna drive
the person.
down and
Yeah. It's going to punch someone random. I'm not even at the show. Yeah, well, you're in Birmingham. They haven't cancelled it, but the NAB has cancelled its show, and that's quite a big show. That's no, sorry, not the NAB. Photo Plus. Photo Plus. I keep saying the NAB. No, it's not the NAB. Photo Plus has cancelled its show, and Photo Plus is one of the biggest photography shows in the world at the moment.
which one's Photo Plus? Sorry, remind me.
The one in New York.
Oh, okay.
So Pratik Naik, all
Yeah,
those guys, they
not
were
the
going to
one
go
in
there.
Vegas.
He messaged me. He's like, "Oh, I'm really upset that Photo Plus is." He didn't say I'm really upset, but I'm just
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh," he put a sad face. So I'm going to translate that as
Well,
I'm really upset.
but,
But then I
those
get-
people will have a lot of friends. That could, it'll be
Yeah,
I know we don't know so many people, so it's not quite so
no,
much of a thing for us.
but yeah, that's been cancelled. That's a huge show. Lots of companies were involved, but Sony pulled out relatively soon before the Photo Plus actually cancelled, and they were citing concerns about COVID and the new variant in the US and so on and so forth. And there's lots of things happening about that. And this is what I think is going to be the biggest problem for trade shows, and that is the actual brands. Because Sony now, in a lot of instances, isn't actually going to a lot of trade shows.
Really?
Well, they're pulling back a bit. They're doing their own shows, right? Fujifilm, for example, they're going to be at the photography show, but they've started doing a lot of launches and things with their own platforms, a lot of it virtually, and also in their London branch, and they've got like a bunch of like big stores where they do their launches and so on.
Is it a bit like films going straight to Netflix?
Kinda, to some extent. And what we're finding, how like, for example, what's the gaming convention? The big gaming convention, I forgot what it's called. Whatever. There's
the
a
big gaming convention.
The big gaming convention. Sony,
Worldwide,
PlayStation. Yeah.
PLC.
Sony's no longer part of it now, right?
Seriously?
Yeah. Sony's no longer part of it.
One of the two biggest. Wow.
PlayStation. It's their probably the biggest moneymaker for the company.
Probably, yeah.
After movies, before movies? Probably before movies. In terms of tech, I mean, their biggest income source is insurance, weirdly. 40% of their income comes from insurance. But they've...
E3. Thank you,
E3,
Kaylin.
that's it. Who said that?
Kaylin.
Thank you, Kaylin. E3, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. But Sony's no longer joining any E3 conventions. They're just doing it on their own. Because,
Wow.
They're
Because they're a
big
publisher
enough.
too. Like,
Huh?
they're a publisher too. They bring out games and stuff. So that's...
Yeah.
As in terms of the gaming industry, they bring out a PlayStation, fine, whatever. It's kind of it's a new console. Okay, it's a bit better than the last one, but the games they publish, there's some big names in there.
Yeah. And Sony seems to be doing really well, even without going to these conventions. So, we may have a similar scenario where camera manufacturers, such as Sony, start deciding to do the same thing that they're doing in the gaming industry, in the photography industry, where because they've now become a big enough name in the photography industry, right? They're second in the world.
Yeah, they don't need to prove themselves anymore, do they?
Exactly. They're second in the world. They're only competing with Canon realistically. They're not really competing that much with Nikon. And no, Nikon's doing really well though. We've seen, Nikon's numbers came out recently. Nikon did extremely well.
True.
Brilliant news. As much as I like to make fun of Nikon, I was very, very pleased.
Yeah, no, I'm
very happy with the fact that Nikon is doing well.
I don't want us to have a 2-horse race.
No, that would be horrible for the industry. We need Nikon. Mm-hmm. We absolutely need Nikon.
Same as we need Fuji and Olympus to keep pushing on the...
Yeah, but Fuji's been a bit cryptic about what they're doing with the camera industry. I mean, I think they've got a new CEO or something.
Right.
And God, I hate that thing.
What is it with daddy long legs in your hand?
I don't know. I think it's just this area. If you've got a lighter, just burn it. So, this is entirely speculative, and probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, not going to happen anytime soon. Stop looking at the daddy long leg. But Fujifilm may end up focusing more on their medical division, which is far more profitable for them.
Is it?
Yeah, way more profitable, like way more. Heck of a lot more.
Fuck off. The camera wasn't on me, it's fine. I was swearing at the daddy long legs, not at Usman. As much as I like to swear at Usman.
He does it anyway. I mean, it's not anything new. But yeah, I don't think Fuji's going to be stopping the camera division anytime soon. Because they're doing so well. Their market share is increasing, especially for medium format, and they're making some of the best cameras. Period. Mm-hmm. Best APS-C camera, Fujifilm. Best medium format camera, potentially Fujifilm. It's so good, especially with the GFX 100S, and then but what I'm saying is, as a company, they may not want to focus on the photography industry as much as they have done over the last few years, because they've established themselves, and now maybe they can put they can take their foot off the gas a bit. Yeah. Sony as well, and if Sony and Fujifilm start taking their foot off the gas, start doing what Sony is doing in the gaming industry, we may start seeing companies not going to these kinds of conventions. I mean, this year, when we're looking at the roster for the exhibitors list, it's a far cry from what it was in 2020.
I'd imagine there's probably spatial limitations imposed. They might be having fewer exhibitors. Possibly,
but a lot of brands are not involved. A lot of brands. Hasselblad's definitely not there.
Oh.
Yeah, Hasselblad's not there, which was a bit disappointing for me, because I
would have read this before now, wouldn't you? Doing a show about trade shows?
Oh, you
research? No.
Just leave it to us, man. It'll be fine. I'll just be the soundboard.
I don't read stuff. I just find out when I get there.
You know what you remind me of? You remind me of one of those actors that don't read scripts. And then they talk to like the new actors that come in, and the new actor's like, "Oh, you're not going to read the script?" Because, son, I haven't read a script in the last 25 years. I'm not starting now. It's kind of like how I film YouTube videos.
No, because you don't have scripts in the first place. You can't read a script that doesn't exist.
Exactly. But I do the research. I know what I'm talking about. I do all the testing and everything, and then I go out and do the video.
Don't know whether it's better or worse, but I have read the exhibitor list. I just can't remember it.
No, that's worse.
Is that worse? Okay.
Yeah, that's worse. Because it's like you tried, but it was pointless. So it was just a waste of time. Now, I went through the exhibitors list. There are a number of companies there which I'm really excited to see. Looptech is going to be there. Obviously, happy to see them. Gearing is going to be there. So that'll be cool to hang out with them. And then Canon, obviously, the EOS R3 is out. So we're going to be able to do like a hands-on, because they didn't want to send me a camera this time. I didn't ask. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't ask. And I'm not that on that level where I'll just get stuff sent to me if I don't ask. I'll get stuff sent to me if I ask.
It's a camera like tailored for me. You didn't ask.
Yeah, I know, but you're a Nikon shooter, so whatever.
And I'd still rather shoot the R3 than
Stick to Nikon in it, Pedro, with your freaking black and yellow bullshit.
There's a song about that.
Yeah, I know. Wiz Khalifa, right? How'd you know that song? You don't listen to that kind of music.
That was like an iconic tune.
Oh, black and yellow, black and...
Yeah.
We'll get demonetized now.
I just wanted you to sing it.
And ruin it for everyone.
I don't know what it was about.
I'll put it in everyone's head. You don't know what it's about?
No.
It's about a car.
Oh, I only remember the black and yellow bit. That's those are the only lyrics I remember.
That's the only thing that anyone remembers.
They're about bees or
Probably, yeah.
strangely coloured zebra crossings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, honeybees are actually worse for the environment right now.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. Different subject. It's not part of this show. Even though they're probably listening to, wait, what? That's more interesting than what you're talking about. But we've got a lot of brands which are not partaking in the photography show. It could be the fact that we're just kind of fresh out of a pandemic. We've still got different variants coming in, and although we've got vaccines going around for everyone, it's still a little bit of a touchy time to have so many people in one place together, coughing, wheezing, and breathing all over each other, touching everything, and guarantee 95% of them are not going to be washing their hands. So
I mean, what are they? They're requiring. Ooh, I pressed the wrong button. I just dipped myself into view. It flashed white. Anyway,
was that a transition you did?
yeah.
Did it look cool?
No, it just went white for a second.
Oh.
I could have done this. Whoa!
No, for God's sakes.
Or I can come in from the top.
Oh, I hate you. People, please don't leave.
No. They are requiring, what's it called? The COVID passport or whatever it is on the NHS app.
To go in? What do you mean?
You get the COVID passport by being vaccinated at least 2 weeks ago, doubly vaccinated, or having had COVID or something, or getting a test done.
I've got none of them. I've got one vaccine.
Yeah, you'll be asked to get a test before you go in. You have to show a negative lateral flow test.
So I have to go in, they're going to test me there.
No, you probably have to show it beforehand.
But they haven't asked me for anything.
You have to show it as you go in.
But they haven't mentioned any of this in any of the documentation.
Well, where have I seen it then?
I don't know.
It does say it.
Do you mind let me look this up, because this is some clearly important information that I have not looked into properly. I apologize. Photography.
They're also doing temperature checks, I think, which I don't really know how useful that is, because I generally come up as medically hypothermic, so I come up as like 36.
Keeping you safe, COVID-19. Okay, Vitiza, what would like to? COVID pass by the NHS. Follow the instructions on the website. Okay, so apparently I need a COVID passport. That might put a bit of a dampener on things, because I've only got one vaccine at the
You
moment.
just take a test.
When?
I'll give you one.
Where? There.
Like, it's valid for 2 days?
Oh,
3 days?
you've got one.
Yeah, you get them for free from a chemist.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll get
cool.
them sent to you.
Oh, wait, that's Kevin.
Shows you don't leave the house very often, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, but
I
what
keep
do
a stock of them in the car.
Have you got one?
I've got 6.
Okay, so I can just grab one off you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
So, no, my next vaccine is on the 22nd of October.
Oh.
So that's
so late. That's late.
Pfizer. Apparently it's the better one, so you got to wait for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's booked in already, so I don't care. I just know that I can't travel anywhere right now.
I'm fully upgraded.
What, Pfizer?
I have my microchip. No Moderna.
Stay away, man. Stay away. Guaranteed you're going on extra arm while we're on the drive down. You can't pick, can you? You just turn up and be like, okay, what have you got?
You can't pick, but if you know what's being offered where, then
you can just walk
pick.
out. Yeah.
Well, I knew that Moderna was being offered where I went, so I booked that specifically.
Did you? I thought Pfizer was the better one.
I couldn't find one offering. I was after Pfizer or Moderna.
Okay, I see.
Which I'm not supposed to get AstraZeneca anyway, because
Blood clots.
I'm young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How old are you?
27.
Young people. No, they asked me how old I was. I was like, I'm 34. They're like, don't worry about it. Okay then. Thanks.
On your 30th birthday, that's it.
That's it. You're old.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you hit 30, you're old. It just switches. That's why, I'm just in my house working all day. I don't talk to anyone. My knees click, my back clicks.
Speaking of old people, they're also annoying at trade shows.
What? You can't say that.
I don't mean that.
We can't say that.
What I do mean is...
I know what you mean,
yeah.
But you better quickly rephrase that.
I'm going to qualify that statement.
Go on.
I thought it was a nice segue.
No, it wasn't a nice segue. It was a horrible segue.
I don't know who in our audience has ever been to a trade show, but when you go to particularly a photography trade show, there is always a contingent of men of a certain age who turn up with all their camera gear, and I mean all their camera gear. Firstly, to show off how much camera gear they've got, because they're
yeah, but that's kind of nice. It's like it's like the only time they can do that.
Well, the other thing they do, which they shouldn't be doing ever, is they're basically, or it seems like they're going either to fondle equipment or to wish that they're fondling the models. Like, do you remember I think it was the Fuji stand a couple of years ago? I
wasn't paying attention. I'm going to be honest with you. I was too busy fondling the equipment. But I was invited to fondle the equipment. They were like, "This man, I'm over here."
To be fair, I should qualify that. I don't care about the kit. That's the whole point, right? How many people get to use a 400mm? It's 800mm.
That's
fine.
Right,
don't care about that. But when people turn up, I think it was the Fuji stand, but it might have been something else. Maybe Olympus or something. But there was an attractive model at their stand.
Oh yeah, the Fuji stand always have.
Obviously,
like a bunch
the
of
idea
models
is you go up to their stand and you use their cameras, and there's something for you to shoot.
Yeah. But they always have like an awesome. Their backdrops are incredible.
Yeah, sure. But then you get a crowd of men of a certain age with all their camera gear stood around these stages using their own camera kit. They're not like testing out kit. They're using their own kit just to stand there and take pictures of these women all day. And I'm just like, can you not?
I don't know.
Is it because you're not allowed to book models anymore, or what? Like, it's just lechy.
Is the camera on you?
Yeah.
Give me a sec. And that's the end of that problem. Okay. No,
the camera wasn't on me.
Oh, you did. I kind of get what you mean. I do get what you mean. It does maybe on the surface seem like it's a little creepy, but I don't know. I wanna.
It feeds that image of the.
No, I want to see. I want to think the best of people generally. So I want to imagine that they're just being photographers.
But you don't go and see them taking pictures of anything else.
We didn't follow them around.
I mean, we were there all day. I saw enough of them more than once.
I took photographs of the models as well.
Yeah, but you didn't stand there for pretty...
No, but then I was using the GFX 100 then.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything else to photo. No, I photographed... I think I photographed you as well.
To be honest, the...
Embarrassed the hell out of you.
Wherever I'm around, most of the reps get papped at some point. If I'm testing out a camera, I want people who move more.
Yeah. Models kind of just...
Yeah. That or people walking through crowds, that's always a good test.
Yeah, naturally, that's not a bad test.
I remember actually trying out the D5 back when that was a good camera.
Oh, the reps hate you, man. You keep trying to photograph them, and they're like, "Oh, this guy again."
It was on the D5. This is the year the D5 came out, and I use long lenses handheld in what I do because of people outside courtrooms and stuff. I wanted to try out the D5, and I wanted to try out their new 400. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a new stabilized version or something, and I took it off the stand, which I knew they'd be a bit itchy about. But I took it off the stand.
No, they were. You could tell immediately. They just snapped their neck towards
the first thing I noticed was that this camera was tracking faces through a crowd of 500 perfectly. Like, that was great. But then I had someone go, would you really use it like that? I'm like, yeah. I mean, why does it have VR? Why does it have IS VR?
Yeah.
Stability. Otherwise, if it's only going to be on a tripod, what's the point?
Yeah, no, precisely. I mean, if you're on a tripod, then you're just kind of stuck in one place. You need to be mobile and just snappy with where you are.
But yeah, why would you put vibration reduction in a lens? It's only going to be on a tripod.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
There's basically no point.
Especially if you're shooting at high shutter speeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get what you mean.
To be honest, actually, because I'm weedy, having VR or what's the generic term for vibration reduction?
Yeah, because Nikon has to ruin it, doesn't it?
Stability.
It's called IS.
IS, you prefer IS, okay.
Yeah, stabilizer.
Okay, so having IS on a long lens, because I'm weedy and I can't hold it up steady, it means I can hold it on the target a bit better as well, because otherwise I'm going all over the place.
Just use a freaking smaller aperture lens. Don't worry, man. Put the ISO up. It's fine. You're printing in a newspaper. Who gives a crap?
It's not that. It's the fact that if I'm looking through, I can't keep it on my target.
Oh, I see.
Trying to actually frame the damn thing.
Yeah. No, that is one of the issues, though.
Yeah, sorry.
You were talking about
Lecce people.
Lecce people. I'm gonna.
As Kalen said, it's for their portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kalen. I know you're being sarcastic.
He's put it in. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. It's for their portfolio. They want to demonstrate
that they can stand in a crowd and take
the useful skills. Sometimes. Shut up, man. I've got no defense.
No, you don't.
No, I've got no defense.
I'll just say, if you're... I'm less annoyed at the people themselves. Let me put it this way. I dislike the practice of it, and if somebody there thinks this is them, just keep an eye on where your gaze is going all the time. You know, people talk about the male gaze.
Oh, shut up, man.
No, I mean
just
it.
Listen.
No.
We all look at each other.
Sure, but we don't stand there and stare at models for 15 minutes.
No, that would be creepy.
Exactly, and that's what I'm talking about.
But you were like male gaze. That's very different from like actual perving.
I'm talking about if somebody is listening to this and thinks, oh, maybe I'm that person. I'm like, don't beat yourself up, but just have a think about.
No, it just comes down to intention.
And also if you
no, I think
if you do want to get stuff like that for portfolio, go and find any event anywhere and go and shoot it properly, and you'll have way better shots for your portfolio.
Honestly, I don't think any of the pictures that anyone ever takes at a photography show or a trade show are ever going to be effective in a portfolio.
Unless you're covering the event. Yeah.
Unless you're actually part of the press team, literally covering the event, but Future already have people for that.
Yeah.
Future literally have photographers on their payroll to do literally just that, and that's why we'll see people who are filming. You know, we'll just walk past and there's like a big ass black magic and some guy just talking and like, hey, I'm here at the photography show.
Well, they've got a live thing going on.
They've got a live thing going on as well, yeah, precisely. So they've got all of that covered. So I don't think that any photographer going there is going to ever walk around and be like, oh yeah, this is for my portfolio. What portfolio? Events? This is, no, I don't know. But I also think that people who go there and they just want to take pictures of the models just because, you know, they're pretty people. I'm going to let that slide. I'm going to let that slide because they literally are there to be taken pictures of.
Yeah, but not perved at.
Perved at is different. You know, anyone can make someone feel uncomfortable when they're doing something like that. That's weird. But they are literally there to be taken pictures of. And
but
I don't know.
I think there's a.
It's a bit of a.
I don't think it's.
I think it's a bit of a grey area.
As someone that has worked security at conventions, there are those dudes that hang around the booth models. It says Kalen.
Really?
Yeah.
Kalen, let me live in my bubble. Okay? Let me just live in my bubble where I imagine everyone is really nice.
But part of the reason this is so important, right? You know, we know enough models, okay?
You know, just recently, did you read that article on Petapixel?
No.
No, of course you didn't, because you don't go on the internet.
I don't know which one you...
There's an article.
I'm literally on the internet, right?
So there's an article that just went up on Petapixel about this. Now, it looks verified.
Was it the woman shouting at the...
Photographer.
I've seen the video. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now, it looks verified. And based on all the information that we have so far, it looks like that photographer genuinely did ask the model, lose some weight, and she went off on him.
Or make sure you don't eat before the next shoot or something, I think, yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but basically lose some weight. That's essentially what he's saying, right? Lose some weight for the next shoot. And she went off on him. First of all, well done on her.
Yeah.
Freaking badass. Second of all, what the hell? Who says that to someone? When was the last time you ever thought of looking at someone and that thought came in your head? And here's the thing. I don't understand why the photographer would even request that, because if you want a skinny model, then you could just hire a skinny model. I'm just saying, let's say your brand message for whatever thing that you're doing, right, requires a model of a particular body type, right? You can hire that person. There are plenty of people who are who have that build naturally. If you need someone, if your brand message requires someone who's plus size or curvy or, you know, whatever body size you want, you would hire the person specifically for that job, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't hire someone, call them in, and then tell them your body's not what we want.
I don't think he was, as far as I remember the video, he was, because he specifically said, or she was specifically saying that he said, don't eat before your next shoot.
For the next 2 weeks, because essentially to lose weight.
No, oh, okay. I thought it was like a shoot.
No, he was
shortly afterwards or something.
No, it was to lose weight.
Right.
He was talking about her body.
Well,
so she turned around and said, "You don't tell me what to do with my body," which is exactly correct. Exactly correct.
The fact that we have to even think about saying this just.
Some people in the comments were suggesting that, you know, we don't know because we don't have any we don't actually have any video evidence of what the photographer said.
No.
That's correct, but it looks like.
And even if it isn't, that situation has happened.
Yeah, it looks like it's, you know, it looks like what's happened is what, you know.
Even if that
if it quacks like a duck.
Even if that whole response is staged, that situation has happened to plenty of people. And
no, if it's staged, then it's a very we have to, because this looks like
whether the response is staged or not.
Yeah.
There are enough shit photographers who have told models that same thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, and I think that. But it goes. It's a bit ridiculous because like I said, if you want to hire someone of a particular.
But it's not even about body. It goes into this broader thing about like power, power dynamics and. You know, models even being comfortable doing shoots. You know, how many times have we had conversations with models who've said, "Oh yeah, you know, I've had one shoot with this guy," or "I've had a," you know. Yeah,
I hate those conversations.
And it's like,
yeah. No, the only reason why we have those conversations is so that we can avoid those people.
Yeah. But you know, the people who, I'm not saying it's all of them, but
do you know what I think?
I guarantee there are some of the people who are these lectures at the trade shows are those people, you know, and it's
possibly
part of this problem that needs to be.
Possibly, but I think that it's going to be very difficult to try and fix that, and I highly doubt.
It's still worth it.
Yeah, because we're preaching to the choir, in all honesty.
Well, I hope so.
I think so, and I hope so.
I don't really know the choir, really.
No.
Well, it's Kalen, and I'm sure we're not,
Yeah.
sure we're not telling him anything new, but.
Anyway, back to the trade show. One of the things that, like I was saying, brands are starting to not take trade shows as important, make them as important. brands are starting to not go to trade shows. I can't talk anymore. Brands are starting to not go to trade shows. Leica wasn't going to go to the photography show last year or the year before anyway, right? No, last year. Yeah, they weren't going to go to that one anyway.
Oh right.
I think Hasselblad.
I don't remember that far back.
No, they weren't going to go anyway. Photokeen has been completely cancelled and taken off anyway. That's gone, which is a bit of a shame.
Gone.
As in, like, never, not coming
forever.
back. Yeah, it wasn't just cancelled; it was discontinued.
Oh.
That's the end of Photokina. So I went to the very last Photokina in 2018, which is awesome, but also pretty sad because I loved going to Cologne. That was a brilliant experience.
We wanted to go to that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, and that one's gone. Photo Plus has been cancelled twice now. That's a whole lot of money that they've missed out on and lost. And a lot of these trade shows, they kind of, like I said, they're on the line. If they miss a show, they lose so much money. And also, if they miss a show, the brands lose so much money, and then the brands also start reevaluating things. Because anytime something happens and the trade show gets cancelled, then the brands are starting to look at it and think, well, maybe it's not worth it. Especially the big brands.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The four big brands are still going to be at this show. You know, Canon, Nikon, Fujifilm, and Sony.
I wonder if it's still, because yes, there are those big brands there, but there are also a lot of small to medium brands. You know, all the printers, except Canon, all the printing services and printers and papers and that kind of stuff.
But if the big brands aren't there, then
fairly big businesses, but I mean, and all the storage or bags and things like that.
Yeah, but the big brands are.
So I wonder, firstly, how much the big brands prop the rest of them up.
Well, they're the sponsors.
Yeah.
Canon's a sponsor of the show.
It, yeah.
Canon literally sponsors it. So Crew, massive company, they sponsor the show. So if these big companies are no longer there, they're also not going to sponsor the show. And if they don't sponsor the show's not going to have enough money to be able to just run. Because the smaller brands, it's decent amount of money, but it's just filler.
I was just wondering how, say the show still ran without those big brands. What does that mean for those other brands? Do people still go? Do they not bother?
It could do.
I don't know. I would like to know how much trade shows matter for these, small to medium brands.
Probably a lot.
Place. I would imagine
probably a lot. Because we were speaking to Gearing. Well, I was speaking to Gearing, I should say. And shows like this are a huge deal for them because they get to expose themselves to a wide range of people very quickly. One, they're able to get feedback. Two, they're able to just get an idea of some of the other companies and see them in face to face, because it is kind of like a bit of a melting pot, right? Everyone comes together, and well, not a melting pot. That's a bad example, bad analogy. But it is kind of like a massive get together where people can just talk to each other, and you meet lots of different brands and companies, and you may come across brands that you don't necessarily know. And for the smaller brands, that's great.
Yeah.
So, Gearing, what were they called before? Sorry, Gearing, I'm going to call it something silly. They were called Key Mission. Key Mission.
That was the Nikon.
No, that was a Nikon,
camera. Don't get that confused.
That was a terrible name as well, wasn't it?
When was that? 2017?
Yeah. Oh, that flopped so bad. But they were called Mission Peak or something like that, right? I don't know. And then Gearing decided, oh, wait a minute, we could just use the name Gearing because that's a lot better. And it is a lot better. And, she was telling me about how when they were at the show, they met companies like Three-Legged Thing. Three-Legged Thing, they produce brilliant tripods. And, they had an interaction.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen if you weren't at the show.
Yeah. And probably the closest competitor in terms of product line. Most similar product.
Yeah, possibly.
Slimline, light.
Well, Three-Legged Thing was really taking a look at their product, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. The owner, anyway.
I bet.
Yeah.
But he should do.
He should do, of course. It's a good tripod, I have to say. They made some updates to that, but we'll talk about that.
Where's the sponsorship?
I don't think Gearing's going to be sponsoring
After all that.
No, I don't think Gearing's going to be sponsoring us anytime soon or ever.
Well, I hope they get to the point where they can sponsor us.
I don't want to be sponsored by a tripod company. Not honestly. Not because they're a tripod company, but just because then I can't be objective about it. And if that's why I don't want to, like, I wouldn't accept the sponsorship from Canon.
Right.
Because then I can't be objective about Canon.
Right.
So if Canon releases an R3 and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is junk. It's not junk. But I'm just, because I don't know, I haven't tried it yet.
It hasn't got 50 megapixels.
Yeah. It's got half the megapixels of Sony in it. But then I can't be objective about it. So I don't want a sponsor that's, for example, with our cigar channel, the sponsor we had wasn't a cigar brand. It was a retailer, which is fine because retailers sell everything. So if you say something bad about one brand, it doesn't matter.
We still could be objective as to how good of a retailer they were.
Yeah, we were. But what I'm saying is you don't suddenly become a shill for one particular brand because you're being sponsored by a retailer. You could still be objective about all the brands that you're talking about. So with B&H, for example, I've got a good relationship with B&H, but that doesn't mean that I have to suddenly, like, they've given me no terms.
Right.
Literally no terms. Just don't say bad things about B&H.
I mean, yeah, it would still, even if you tell them that you're still going to be objective about their stuff, it's still going to affect you, isn't it? Like,
yeah, of course.
You can't. It's just not in our nature. You can't get away from that.
No, if you say anything, if you're sponsored by a company and then you say something even mildly negative, it's going to jeopardize your sponsorship. So I don't want to be in that situation at all. So no, I don't want a gearing sponsorship or a sponsorship from any brand, unless it's Leica. I'll accept that hand over fist. I'm not going to lie. Listen, if you find me shilling Leica, best believe I'm sponsored by them. I will happily accept that.
All the commenters on Petapixel taking a note of that particular timestamp.
Oh, I love their camera. But I love their camera because I love it without having any affiliation with them. And that's completely reasonable. You can like something because you like something.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I love them.
I love the M10. Is one of the M10R, not the M10, the M10R. Oh, I want that so badly. Leica, if you're watching, you're not.
I don't really want one for photography.
I just want it. I just want it because it's.
I'd buy that and an R3.
Yeah, it's just like that. I know what you'd do. You'd buy it, sell it, get the R3.
No, I just want both. I still want the Leica.
Yeah.
Then I can wear it to trade shows.
Yeah, with a Noctilux. What's in focus? Fuck off.
Do you remember when when you did the Leica SL2? Look, and I got to that presentation before you did, and I saw the presentation.
Yeah.
I still remember the first thing I wrote down was a quote from the video they showed, which was the SL2 is a delight to wear.
God, that's so cringy. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Leica.
it's totally true for their customers.
It is though, isn't it?
Well, maybe not for the SL2. I thought it was a bit odd for the SL2.
No, the SL2 is like... The SL2 is not an M.
No.
Listen, the SL2, good camera, but it does not have anywhere near the prestige of the M.
No.
It's never going to be a limited edition in the same manner.
The SL2 is the practical work trousers, compared to the Gucci suit,
Yeah. And like you were never going to find an SL2 that's going to end up costing like $500,000.
Yeah.
But you are going to find like M's that cost that much,
Yeah.
But no, let's get back to the photography show. We keep going off topic, don't we? I think we might be at a stage because Photokeen is completely gone. The photography show, they are operating at a much lower rate at the moment, and
although Photokeen was a more business to business show, wasn't it?
But it was the biggest in the world, I think. I think that was the biggest B2B trade show.
Because I would imagine the consumer side of shows like the photography show or even CES or something,
That's a very good point.
I would imagine the consumer end of that makes them more money.
No, that's a very good point because a lot of retailers go there with massive discounts, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of professionals go there because they get. No, that's a good point.
What is it? Camera World is the shop.
Camera World, Wex, they've got massive discounts going on as well.
Yeah, I don't know what Wex are doing this year, but
Wex is there.
I'm sure they're there, but obviously they've got Calumet, they've got Fixation,
They own Calumet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They bought Calumet like a year ago.
Wex is huge then. Well, I know they're huge, but they've grown a lot, haven't they?
Yeah.
Wow. They're going to eventually turn into the company, like, start dictating terms of Canon and Sony or whatever.
This is what I mean. Like,
That's what Curry's did.
I don't know what their involvement will be this year, but I'd imagine it's going to be massive.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's see if we can get
Well, they're
sponsorship.
opening, just opened a store near us.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get sponsorship from Wex.
Yeah. Like and subscribe
They're a retailer, it's fine.
to all 2 people.
Yeah.
One of them is you. It's
Don't care.
just us and Karen. So.
One of the things that I'm kind of concerned about is the fact that with the show like Photo Plus being cancelled and the photography show not being cancelled, do you think that they made the right decision? I mean, personally, I want them to stay open. I want to be able to go there. I want to be able to do all the things, I want to go there. But based on the current circumstance, Photo Plus has cancelled. Do you think they're being responsible and the photography show isn't?
Do I think what? Oh.
Do you think Photo Plus is being more responsible than the photography show?
Why was Photo Plus cancelled? Just because of COVID?
Yeah.
That was in America.
Concerns with COVID, yeah.
I mean, I think... Well, I mean, this is such a thorny topic as to how far we should be going as far as COVID goes.
What is it, like 87% vaccinated now?
I don't know. I mean, legally speaking, they're in the right in the UK.
Yeah. But legally speaking, Photo Plus was in the right as well.
Was it?
To continue open,
Right.
yeah.
I don't know what the case rates are compared to here in the US, but...
Our death rate's a lot lower. Our case rates are going high.
Right. I don't know.
It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it?
I mean, there are other large events opening.
True.
If we count the fact that people are attending them as being a sort of collective, what do you call it, measurement of morality, then litmus test, that's the word I was searching for. If we take that as being a sort of collective litmus test of morality, then then I guess, yeah, they're perfectly fine. I personally am still a bit iffy.
Chances are they're going to cancel on Friday, right?
But to be fair, I think I'm iffy based on, well, the reasons that I'm still a bit iffy about it are down to decisions that were made, at government level over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And I can't really fault companies for trying to survive a bit.
No, we're having a bit of a go at the photography show, but we also accept the fact that Boris didn't make any lockdown rules until the 31st, which is a whole 10, 12 days.
Oh yeah, the first cancellation thing, yeah, it was annoying that it was so late. I kind of wish they'd just bitten the bullet earlier, because I think at that point it was a bit obvious.
Yeah.
I'd probably a couple of weeks before they cancelled it, I was already resigned to not going, really.
Yeah, I was still excited to go.
I was excited to go, but I was pretty sure we weren't going to be.
Yeah.
But certainly this time around, I can't fault them for, they're doing more than is required of them.
Oh no, this time they're doing great. They're doing great. I think the photography show are doing a fantastic job in making sure.
And it's a good show.
I agree.
I think
they're probably going to have like lines and lanes and stuff like that you got to walk through and all that nonsense.
I must admit, in the years we've been going, we've definitely noticed a change in it.
What kind of change have you noticed?
It's been getting a bit less. I'm trying to think back now because it's obviously 2 years, 2.5 years. I remember thinking, and we had this discussion at the time, that over the few years we've been going, we've been seeing a bit of a decline in the scale.
Yeah.
Not in physical scale, but...
Yeah, just the impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. The impact has been on the downtrend.
Given that it was so long ago, I don't really know how to quantify that anymore.
Well, brands have been pulling out. Big brands have been pulling out.
Who didn't go that year?
Leica.
Oh, maybe that was
But Leica never had a massive stand anyway.
No, there was a manufacturer that I'm sure set that conversation off between us, and I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, so we in general terms, we've been thinking it was on a downward trend.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that this sort of
Well, this year.
reboot should.
Well, this year. Think of it this way.
This is better than last year.
Yeah. But this year, the only third-party lens manufacturers that are there are Samyang and Tamron. That's it.
No Sigma.
Sigma's. Oh yeah, Sigma. I don't consider them third-party anymore. I mean,
Well, yeah.
but they are third-party. I see what you mean. Yeah, Sigma, Tamron, and Samyang. They're the only ones. So every other, none of them there.
No Zeiss.
Zeiss isn't there. Lauer isn't there.
Wow.
And Lauer had a big stand.
I'd imagine Lauer came from.
Well, Fuji's from Japan.
Yeah.
They're all from Japan, really.
I'd imagine with the smaller companies coming over from Japan, it might be a bit more cost prohibitive. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Tamron isn't huge. Sigma is not huge. Sigma's a relatively small company.
Bigger than Lauer though,
Yeah.
by a sizable margin.
What's the other Chinese company that makes lenses? Good lenses. I forgot what it's called. I can't believe I've forgotten what it's called.
Tamron, Samyang, Lauer,
It's a Chinese manufacturer. They make good lenses.
Seven Artisans. They're not Chinese.
What are they? They're American?
They don't sound Chinese anyway.
No, I think they are.
Are they?
They are. Not them. They've got a 14 or 13.
Tokina.
No, not Tokina. Tokina is Samyang.
Is it?
Yeah, Samyang and Tokina, same company.
How did I not know that?
It's just different names in different areas.
Oh, okay.
I think. I could be wrong. Someone's going to correct me. Technically, Tokina is a different company. Okay, fine. Do they make the same lenses? Yeah. Okay, the same company. There's another company. Yeah, there are a bunch of companies, but Zeiss isn't going.
Right.
So that's a relatively big company that's no longer going to.
Because
they had a pretty big stand.
Especially their cine stuff as well, because there's a good amount of cine stuff going on at the minute.
There are only two filter manufacturers there, Case and H&Y. None of the others. Lee's not going there. Lee Filters, they're not there.
Yeah, that's the one I was surprised about.
Yeah, Lee Filters not there. Nissy's not there, and Nissy love putting on a big show.
Yeah, I'm slightly more surprised Nissy isn't there, but the fact that Lee isn't there is huge.
Yeah,
because that's the first filter that basically everyone buys.
I didn't.
No, I didn't either. But
I didn't buy any filters.
No, neither did I.
Thank you, Imran. I think we both thank Imran for that, don't we?
Yeah, thank you, Imran. But yeah, that's like the ideal market for Lee. So many. I don't mean this disparagingly.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Everything you say. Go on, say it. Okay, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Say it.
I was going to say.
Did you just mute my mic?
No.
Oh.
Can do.
No, please don't. I'll just talk louder into your mic.
I was going to say there are a lot of newer or amateur, hobbyist photographers.
Yeah.
I mean amateur in a non-paid sense.
Who may not have seen all the results from all the...
I mean, yeah, you look at most Facebook groups and forums and things, for some reason the Lee Big Stopper is the go-to
It
filter.
still is. Weirdly, it still is.
Yeah, it's the one people always get recommended. Oh, I'm glad I crossed to you at that point. I didn't know.
Ugh. Can you kill it, please? No, don't freaking limpingly... Stop it.
I don't want it on my sock. I don't know where it's gone now.
Yeah, you just went up your jeans.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Did it actually?
No, it's gone now. Oh well.
Yeah.
Were you on the camera then?
No.
Okay. Was I on the camera then? The whole time? Oh, thanks for that, man.
I'm in control of this shit.
I hate you.
I know when I don't want to be in camera. Yeah, the lead big stopper is recommended to so many people, rightly or wrongly.
No, wrongly, because it
Personally,
sucks.
I think wrongly. Yeah.
Because it sucks.
Yeah.
And there are so many better products out there. Was that camera me there?
I didn't quite get there in time.
Good.
But
£1,000.
it's
Just use £1,000
we're so derailed.
swatter.
It's totally off.
No, the Lee Big Stopper. No, I think it sucks. I'm going to be honest.
But
But I don't think the company sucks. I think the company is a great company.
regardless of that, they have so many new customers in that section of the market.
But can I just rant about
which
that
is
for a
such
second?
a massive section of who goes to these shows.
Can I just rant
The
about
fact
that?
they're not there is mad.
Okay, but can I just rant about that product for a bit? Their 10 stopper sucks. Oh my god, the sharpness terrible, and they keep talking about how good the sharpness is on their filters until you use it and you're like, where is it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like using a mist filter lens.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then the color shift is horrible. And a lot of people say, oh, you could just change the white balance. Well, no, because if you change white balance, it's like it doesn't work in the same way. It does strip a lot of the colors out of the scene, especially if you're shifting towards like a bluey magenta tone. Then you got to correct for that, and then you're stripping a lot of color out.
You
have to counter
are
it.
by definition, losing some data.
Of course you are. Of course you are. So no, white balance does not fix bad filter colors. There's only one filter manufacturer that's made a filter system with the best colors I've seen so far. Breakthrough Filters. I said one negative thing about them and they came down on me on like a ton of bricks. I don't know why, because I gave them such a good review overall. I talked about the sharpness. So I showed the result, literally showing the results, right? So I showed the results of Nissi, showed the results of Breakthrough, and I talked about how Breakthrough filters were the best filters that I've ever used when it comes to color. And I even mentioned how I'm not really that bothered about sharpness because colors are more important, especially if you're shooting like a big scene. Who gives a crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're shooting architecture, you can always add sharpness. You can't really adjust colors in the same way.
Yeah.
Colors are more important. And they were not happy about the fact that I pointed out that their filters weren't that sharp. So they don't want to work with me ever again.
Right.
But that's what it is. I'm not gonna start being cuddly about something. If something performs in a particular way, I'm going to demonstrate the way that it performs. That's just what I'm going to do. But I asked them what could have gone wrong, and they didn't give me an answer. Right. So I was like, well, if you don't have an answer for it, if I'm asking you, what's going on, if you're saying that my results are wrong, and I'm saying, well, why? Can you tell me what could I have done wrong? This is my method. And if you can't tell me why, then I'm sorry, but the results stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's what I think. I think that the actual glass that they're using is of a really high quality. I think the problem is their holder, or was. They might have updated it since then, because this is going back a few years. So their holder was causing a lot of side reflections. So light was coming in from the side.
Oh.
And because of that, it was creating that little softish look. And I think that if they just had that blacked off on the edges, or if they just had a holder which kind of completely insulated or any light coming from weird angles, then their filters may be the sharpest filters on the market, because that's what they say. They say, we've tested our filters with these kind of instruments. Okay, then fix your holder, because your filters might be the best, but the overall system is still a breakthrough holder that I used.
Yeah.
So that's my suspicion, but I just never bothered to look into it.
While we're on the subject,
Go on.
if your filter fits in a different holder, you don't have to use the same manufacturer's holder.
True. But I do if I'm doing
I'm not
review.
saying that to you. I'm saying
yeah.
that to a lot of people I've seen who will only buy...
No, I will happily
They've
use...
got a Lee filter, they have to buy a Lee holder. No, you don't. You are not forced to do that.
No. I think wine through holder, I love that.
Most of them are 100 by 100.
Yeah.
They will fit.
They're all 100 by 100. Yeah. For full frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're long. And, yes.
Yeah, but those are the
filters.
graduated ones, yeah. No, they're all the same. They're all the same size.
Yeah.
They're all standardized.
I think you can get 150s. But
that's for medium format.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, you're right. They're all the same size. So you can use whatever holder system that you want. Unless you're reviewing it, then you have to use the Breakthrough filters with Breakthrough. and test it as it is as a package. But we're going to be talking to H&Y about their filters. I've been talking to them for a little while about their filters, and they've asked me what I think of their filter system. I'm like, well, okay, let's do some reviews on that. So I'm looking forward to, because I've actually heard a lot of good things about their filters. So they're going to be at the photography show, and I thought it'd be a good time to have a quick conversation with them as well. Case are going to be there. I asked Case previously about possibly doing some reviews with them, but then I never followed up. That's my fault. So I think this time I might just have a quick word with them, be like, hey Case, what's going on? Apparently, this is what Imran says. Apparently, Case and Nissi are the same filters. I don't know. We'll find out. You know, that's what Imran says. But then,
well, Nissi make decent filters. Nissi make some decent filters.
They do make some very good filters. Are we coming to the end of the show?
We're 1 hour and 17 now. So
we've got 10 minutes.
It's supposed to be an hour show, isn't it?
Yeah. So, what do you think? Trade shows, potentially we're going to see the end of them. They're losing a lot of money.
I'm not sure if we're going to see the end of them.
We are going to see much smaller scale ones, do you think?
Potentially, because there are a lot of smaller conference centres around.
Well, the big one's already gone. The biggest one's already gone, right? Photokina. I've been saying
No, sorry, I meant there are smaller actual venues around.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly feasible that people could save money, have fewer exhibitors, and go to one of these smaller, like Event City, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, a quarter of the size of an NEC hall. Or even just smaller halls at the NEC.
But the NEC is, the NEC hall for the photography show, it's not even that big.
No, they're bigger. And they can join them together.
Yeah. Like, Photokina was so massive.
Photokina had 3 halls, didn't it?
No, a lot more. I think it was 8 or 12. 8.
Oh.
Let's put it this way. The whole of the NEC was the Canon stand. in Photokina.
Right.
So, yeah. Canon had a whole freaking hall.
So you could argue they're going to consolidate them into different shows, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see the end, but I think we're going to see them decreasing in size, physical size, and also changing focus a bit more towards the consumer end, perhaps.
That would work.
I think that's...
Do you think the bigger brands will continue?
Yeah.
Because the big brands like Canon, Sony, and all, they don't actually sell anything at these shows.
No.
They never sell anything.
They're not even allowed.
No, they're not allowed to, because they've got they've got contracts with all the retailers, right?
But,
so
but people still go and... It's still secondary sale, right? People will still go and use that stuff and then go and potentially buy it.
I guess so, yeah. Because they want to be able to...
People want to use it before they buy it.
But you could do that as a retailer.
Sure, but not always.
No. Well, B&H
Nikon Z.
Yeah. Which was it? Nikon what?
When the Nikon Z series came out.
No one had it. Yeah.
Our local shop didn't have it.
No one
couldn't get one.
No.
We could order one to buy, but it would have been ages, and they couldn't get one to show, to demonstrate.
Yeah, Dale was like, yeah, good luck. I think Wex had them, but they only had enough for selling, but not...
Yeah. And where's our nearest Wex? Well, at the time, anyway.
At the time, it was like... I don't even know where they are. Some warehouse or whatever. Hire a Camera are going to be there as well, though. Hire a Camera. I think.
Aren't they now Wex Rental?
Did Wex buy them as well?
I don't know. I've lost track of all the things Wex have bought recently.
No, Hire a Camera's a pretty sizable... Hire a Camera.
Oh no, because Calumet had their rental thing already, didn't they? So,
yeah, exactly.
That's, yeah.
And then you've got the Flash Center, right?
Yeah. They're pretty decent.
They're not at the show either.
Are they not?
No.
Oh, right.
It would be a great place for them to rent.
I was looking forward to saying hello to them, because I haven't been in that shop for ages. Because the guys from Leeds normally go to that.
Yeah, that's where we normally used to go whenever we wanted to talk nerd and get free equipment. No, they were really helpful. They were very supportive. I really appreciated a lot of the stuff that they did.
Well, I hope, yeah. Aaron from Dales in Leeds, he normally goes with Shimoda. He makes some really nice bags, actually.
Oh, a couple of bag companies are going to be there as well. You know what? One of the things that I think the advice I would give anyone who's going to the photography show or going to trade shows is have a plan. Because I I built a lot of relationships at these shows. This is like the perfect place to talk to the actual brands and build that relationship. If you want to be an ambassador for a company, face to face is way more impactful than sending an email.
Yeah.
Because emails are easily dismissed. Easily dismissed. But when you're talking to someone in person, like, for example,
there's still that line. You still got to, you know, not be taking up all this person's time and being annoying. But
no, there's a way to do it. You know, you got to build your social skills, right? So, for example, Tim from Sigma, right? When I first met him, he was, I say just because relative to where he is now, he was just the manager, right? He was just the manager of a particular department. This guy comes back like the Sith, man. He's like stronger than ever before. I think he's like the general manager of the whole UK division now or something stupid. He's become like a huge deal. And I had no idea. And I'm just talking to him like on a first name basis, just like, hey Tim, what's going on? But that's how I got to know him, right? And that's one of the things, that's how you build relationships with these brands. Because you're not, the brand isn't some, you know, metaphoric entity. The brand is the people.
Yeah.
So you got to talk to the actual people.
Especially some of the smaller brands, you know, if you like a smaller brand's product,
Gearing,
and you want to
love their tripod.
Gearing or Loop Deck.
Yeah. Well, they're not small anymore. Loop Deck's pretty massive now.
But still, they're big because of support, and people obviously people like their products, but people won't necessarily find out about products until people start, or other people start talking to them. And you know, if you like something that somebody does, then
go talk to them. Have a word with their brand manager, senior, whatever person or whatever. And you know, on all of these trade shows, there's going to be one person who's the lead.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, this person who's a lead is probably going to have a senior position at the company. Loop Deck is going to be Felix. Felix is like what, one of the most senior people at Loop Deck. At Sigma, it's normally Tim. I don't think Tim's going to be there this time. No, sorry, not Tim. Paul. I keep saying Tim because Tim's the person I talk to now, because Paul's a big deal now. When I first started, Paul was just the manager.
I did wonder who Tim was.
No. Tim Berry. Tim Berry is the person I'm talking to now. But Paul was the person.
Who Paul is, yeah.
Yeah. We used to just go sit down next to him like, Paul, what's going on, man? Yeah. Oh, nothing, man. We just
can we try out the bazooka lens?
Yeah, okay.
It's 10 years old now.
I've never tried it.
Haven't you?
No. Because I was busy talking to Paul while you were pissing about with the lens.
It's funny.
Yeah.
it's just funny.
You were there with the lens or whatever. I'm like, I want to try that.
Like, it looks like a thermos.
Yeah.
Sort of somewhere between a thermos and a missile launcher.
You know, people get stopped. Like police actually stop people when they're carrying that lens, and they have to prove it's not a rocket launcher
or a thermos full of liquids.
Yeah.
That you can't take on a plane.
Oh, the dad jokes.
Not a dad joke. You can't take liquids on a plane.
No, you can't. But yeah, I was talking to Paul, and Paul, this is the point I'm making. When I first started talking to Paul in 2016, 2015 or whatever, at that time, Paul was, as I said, just a manager, and then he's worked up the ranks. He's now the general manager. So now when I talk to Paul, it's far more comfortable as well. Mr. Paul, yeah, it's Mr. Paul. And you know, the opportunities are going to be there because we've built that relationship over the number of years where we talk to one another. Yeah. I went to Photokina, the first person I talked to, and again, this is before he became general manager, I was talking to Paul. Like, hey, Paul, how you doing? Blah, 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 this and that. And, you know, we had like a great conversation, but the conversations were just, we were talking about things. I wasn't just trying to guess something from him. We were just talking because I like Sigma as a company, and I was just talking to him about some of the things. And I was just interested in what they were doing.
Yeah.
So now, because they see that I am interested in the company, if I ask them for any particular lens or whatever, or if I say, you know, hey, you know, would you be interested in doing a collaboration with me on X, Y, and Z, whatever, they're more responsive. And
see, that's something to remember as well. Like this world of, you know, talking to companies and sounding like you're a bigwig and trying stuff out, that's not inaccessible. You know, we're not talking to, as you said, we're not talking to a
I'm not talking to Sigma.
We're
I'm
talking to a
Paul.
person. Yeah. And if people get along, then people can work something out. You know.
Precisely. That's the key thing. I've never talked to Canon.
No.
You know.
Because Canon isn't a person.
No, exactly. You know, I've never talked to Fujifilm. I've talked to Jeanette. Or that's the only person I can think of right now. But she's the only person that I've like really had a proper conversation with properly, and on a regular basis. And then the two brothers that work at Fujifilm as well.
Yeah, you can find stuff like, if you're interested in stuff like this, you can go and talk to people.
Yeah.
And find it out.
With Leica, for example.
If you're interested in something, especially if it's the thing that person is to do with.
But even if they're not, you'd be surprised at how, when you just talk to someone at a particular company, they're obviously going to know each other because they work in that company.
And it also helps you as a professional. Like, if you're going and speaking to, say you're going and speaking to Loxley about printing stuff.
Yeah.
And in that conversation, you'll be talking about which cameras you use, and the guy from Loxley will, hypothetical, but might well say, oh, well, we have some issues printing with that particular camera. We find people have to do this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, great, there you go, you've learned something.
Yeah. So now I know I need to have X, Y, and Z profile to be able to print effectively.
Right. All these people work across lots of different, just because they sell one particular thing, it's still part of a bigger system.
Yeah, it's very interconnected.
So if you're serious about knowing or being informed about the gear side of the industry you work in, not everyone is, fair enough, but they're probably not people going to these shows.
No, but okay, let's put it this way: if you're a creative and you want to collaborate with some of these brands, let's say you shoot with Canon and you want to work with Canon, show them your face.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Talk to the people at that company. Show that enthusiasm that you have.
Or even if you don't want to work with them, even if you just use their stuff, like 9 times out of 10, you'll speak to these people, and you'll probably find out something useful. And if you don't, you've had a nice conversation anyway.
Exactly.
What have you got to lose?
Precisely. So I think when we're going to the photography show, I do anyway. I have a list of companies that I want to talk to, and a lot of these companies are not companies I've spoken to before. And the reason I do that is because, one, I'm interested in what they're doing. I want to know what they're doing, what their products are like, what kind of stuff they have, how good or bad it is. Generally speaking, it's really good stuff. Yeah. It's really good stuff because it's, if you're on that level already, it's not going to be crap, is it? If you're already on that level where you're able to go to these kind of shows and do these kind of things and you've got a customer base, probably going to be a good product regardless. So my job kind of a lot easier then, because I just go there, find out about this new company, like, oh right, we got some great stuff.
Yeah. Also, like when I, before the days of doing this as a, from a more press side of things, when I was attending as a professional, I would pretty much go around the whole show. Wouldn't necessarily speak to everyone, but I'd speak to a lot of people. And, when you're making decisions about where to spend thousands of pounds, and especially looking at your business in the future, knowing some of this inside information, it isn't really inside information, but some of this information...
It's not inside information at all.
No,
it's readily
some
available.
of this information that you wouldn't otherwise hear, knowing that industry information is useful to you. That,
Precisely.
So many trends that have been predicted, and some of which have come, when mirrorless cameras started appearing at shows.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But that was an obvious one that was going to happen.
Sure, but it was the obvious example.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
But there are trends like that you can, other people already know about these trends.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't.
Good example is Leica, for instance. The only reason why I was able to build a relationship with Leica was because of trade shows. Leica almost never respond to emails just out the blue. No matter what kind of clout I throw at them, like, oh look, I write for f-stoppers, they don't care. Look, I write for Petapixel, they're not interested. But when I met them in person, it was a very different conversation.
Yeah.
I met someone called Colin. I met someone called Tony Feltzner, and then they put me in touch with Kim. So it's real people. Tony put me in touch with Kim. Colin was the one that gave me their medium format camera for the first time. And Kim was the person that, sorted me out with all the Leica equipment. And these things only happened because I met the actual people at these shows. Yeah. And I talked to them about the things that I was interested in about Leica.
I mean, I get this sometimes the other way around through work. I'll get people say, oh, look, I've done this. Can you come and do a story about it? I'm like, well, who are you? What? You've just come at me out of the blue and expected me to do this for you. why? You know, if I know someone well, or if I've built up a bit of a relationship with someone, I'm more likely to go and do those things that perhaps are a bit more borderline for me, but I know will help them out. You know?
Yeah.
It's just the way of the world. We've only got so much time. We've only got so much.
People tend to work with people. Yeah. People always work with people. They don't work with some, non-face.
People hire the company that I work for, right? But they only hire the company that I work for because they've either spoken to the person that picked up the phone, or in some cases they've worked with us before and they like a particular photographer, or they got along well with us in the past.
Yeah. So they're not faceless brands in essence.
And obviously this applies to work as well.
Yeah.
You know,
one of the best ways that I managed to get clients was just meeting them in person. Weirdly, cigar lounges. You'd be surprised at how many architectural clients have... Okay, it's two.
Don't think I would.
It's two. But there were two big ones. Once in London.
There we go. If you want business, smoke
cigars. There's actually an episode in Friends where Rachel was talking about how she's not getting all the big deals because she doesn't go out and smoke cigarettes with the team managers and whatever.
Honestly, you know what? Actually, that's a really good point. I don't smoke cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
But I'll often go out with everyone else who's smoking because you end up having more of a chat.
Yeah.
You know, at pubs or whatever, where it's really loud inside. You end up meeting these people. Someone asks someone else for a lighter and what have you.
Exactly.
You end up having so many of these conversations. And
but cigar lounges.
We've got into business advice here, but speak to people.
Yeah,
basically.
Like when I was in, I think we've been there together as well. The Mayfair. Mm-hmm. I think there's a hotel and they've got this really nice terrace. They've stopped the terrace.
We're not really that fancy.
No, the only reason why we went there is because it's free. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a cover charge. That's why we went there. So no, it's not as fancy as it sounds. The only reason we went there was because it was free. So when we went there, I met a company CEO there, and he liked my lighter. This lighter. So he asked me for. I think he didn't have a lighter or whatever. We were both smoking cigars. He asked me for a lighter, and I gave him this one. And he really liked it, and then we started talking, and he was like, "Oh, where'd you get this?" I'm like, "Oh, well, just got it from Amazon. Nothing fancy." Because I haven't seen this one before, and he liked Zippos. He was interested in Zippos. Like, well, it's a custom. And then we started talking, and then I asked him what he did. He told me about his company, and from there he said, "You know what? This is my email. Give me a call. Let's talk. Let's do some work together." Same with in Liverpool. There's an architectural firm. With cigars. So Puffin Rooms was built by this architectural firm. Mitchell and that guy hang out all the time. I'm just having dinner with the guys. So you got to meet the people. You have to meet the people. You have to just talk to the people. That's one of the best ways I've got clients, is just literally going out and talking to people. Same with the photography show. If you go in there, just talk to people.
Definitely preaching to the crowd this time around, but yeah, being a photographer is not, most of it's not about taking pictures, is it?
No. 90% of it is just meeting people and talking to people and doing client stuff. And
of the other 10%, that's not all taking pictures either.
No, 5% is taking pictures.
Maybe not even that to some people.
It's weird. Yeah.
That's business, I guess, isn't it? Anyway, we are...
Are we over?
Time.
Oh,
1
massively
hour and
over.
34.
Well, who's the camera on? You? Me?
You'll never know. You can actually see, but it's on you.
It's on me. Okay.
Nah, it's on me now. Put it back.
Well, yeah, trade shows, I think we might see smaller scale versions of them. We might see more consumer orientated, consumer focused ones. I think that some of the bigger brands might start reconsidering, especially if they build their own platform up effectively enough. I mean, Sony has to some extent. Canon might continue because they're a sponsor as well.
Yeah, they're probably big enough that it's all right for them. But
yeah, and I think they still want to have that front facing element.
I think the really small ones might end up dropping out.
Well, they already have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Leica's gone, Zeiss's gone, a lot of the lens
I mean,
manufacturers
even
gone.
smaller than that. Yeah.
I'm surprised Sigma's there. Honestly, I am genuinely surprised that Sigma's there.
Yeah.
I mean, surprised in a good way, because I'm happy that they're there. Because,
Yeah, that's our conclusion. So,
yeah. Trade shows, we might not have them.
Well,
we might not have them for long.
If you like it, if you like them, go to them,
Basically,
If you want to keep it, use it. That kind of...
Precisely, yeah. But yeah, that's been our live show. It's been a bit... whatever.
Tangential.
Yeah, we've been attacked a few times by Daddy Longlegs.
Scary things,
Yeah. Maybe if we stop smoking, we can keep the windows closed.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. That's not going to happen though, is it?
Nope.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. However many of you are there, don't tell me. Shut up, I don't want to know.
That was care. 5. That was nearly our highest count at that point.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you supporting our live streams. And yeah, do we have any comments, suggestions, or anything like that?
Only from Kaylin that Daddy Longlegs is harmless.
I know, but they get in your face, man. They get in your face, and then you got to do all this nonsense. Any other comments?
No.
No, fair enough. Well, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, that was the wrong button. Hey, I'm back again.
Press the right button, Alex.